Greetings. I welcome you into this space and time again and express my gratitude and my thankfulness for you experiencing this information and this journey along with me. In this session, we're going to cover the energy of the Orisha Ogun. Now, Ogun can be compared or likened in similar energy to Heru Kuti, or even Apollo, Hercules, Ares, Mars, Zarabanda, Ogu, and just about almost any deity of warfare, of metallurgy, of technological advancement, or of even just full expansiveness. These would be energies that we would liken and compare to the Ogun energy. The name Ogun itself means the owner of vitality. Okay, Gun being herbs or vitality. We know that herbs represent, the vital essence of what we need in life in order to maintain our vitality, aside from sun. But within those herbs, there exists the crystallized forms of sunlight. Our atoms feed on actual light. Okay, and Ogun is the owner of that. Ogun is known as the spirit of iron in Yoruba, which we would say Irin. So, even traditionally, iron would not be called necessarily iron or Irin. It would be called Ogun, because within iron is Ogun. Ogun is not a spirit that you invoke through iron or that comes along in iron through certain incantations. Iron is Ogun. Iron is the substance that exists within our bodies, but it is also the substance that exists at the center of the planet. Ogun represents the iron brute force that exists within the cosmos. Okay, he's the greatest warrior of blood, the strongest, most powerful warrior of blood, and he's one of the oldest Orisha. Whereas Shango, we know to be Ogun's younger brother, he is the most skilled the most skilled warrior. Ogun is the most powerful warrior. Okay, so Ogun is an energy that not only represents warfare and vitality, but Ogun represents technological advancement, the building of civilizations. Ogun represents delineating one place from another. That's why we use the palm fronds. And the palm fronds represent not only his ability to cut, but his ability to divide one thing from another. Ogun is the acidic force of the cosmos. He is the one who breaks things down so that they can be used again, similar to Oya. But Oya deals more so with supplanting power. She doesn't necessarily break things down, but she transforms them. Okay, but Ogun analyzes them and breaks them down. Okay, so in doing this, one of the first things that he addresses within us is ego, our human ego. That is the first thing that needs to be broken down in order for us to get over our attachments to materialism and our ideas of separation and identity groups, or the id. The id entity is another way of looking at the identity. Okay, and through our ego, we begin to actually believe that we are men and women on a journey and an excursion to perfect ourselves to deityship. And that actually is the reverse of what we actually are. We are actually deities and divine beings who have perfected ourselves in that form, who have now decided to take on the human experience to evolve ourselves further. In order to evolve yourself, once you are a perfect being, you must first devolve. You must negate from yourself in order to move forward. Because if you're perfect and you're already pushed to all of your limits, there's really nowhere else you can go but take a step backwards, kind of like a rubber band, and then spring forward again. So our human reality, our human existence, Ogun reminds us, is only a springing back from our already perfected deityship. So some would say this would be the Buddha nature, or the God nature, whatever word you want to use that describes one who is self-actualized. Because that's really all it is at the end of the day. One who is self-actualized and just being what they are supposed to be. Okay? So Ogun, again, representing the iron. Iron is a fixed material. Okay? Iron is something that one can rely on. So Ogun is oftentimes drawn, or you'll see that he has 2 black dogs with him. Now, of course, we know dogs not only represent loyalty, but depending on the type of dog, they also represent a fierceness. Okay? So Ogun is known as the fiercest, oldest warrior of blood, but he's also one of the most loyal Orisha that you can possibly work with. So when issues of infidelity are prevalent in your life, Ogun is a good energy that you can invoke to kind of bring some balance and set things straight to that. Ogun is again one that you would invoke in surgical matters. He is the patron Orisha over surgeons, barbers, anyone dealing in metalwork, of course, blacksmiths, even mechanics, computer analysts, computer programmers, network engineers, those who create new roads, even new roads of data, network administration, network engineering. These are all areas of Ogun. So Ogun can help with mastery of mind power, of organizing your thoughts, and being able to break down a situation that may seem overly complex, or may have intricate layers that you're having difficulty peeling back. That's when you call upon Ogun. Ogun, of course, we know is most often also called upon to remove obstacles from the roadway, to clear the path in front of us. And of course, he's very effective in that. That is also why we see the symbolism of the machete in clearing the path in front of us. But just always know that one of the things that sometimes need to be cleared is your own ego, right? So one of the things you can do in order to work with the energy is with clearing that path, you can go and bring offerings to Ogun at railroad tracks. Alright, or anywhere where you have a lot of iron machinery, even a boat yard. But I prefer railroad tracks because it's a roadway. It's an iron roadway at that. So one of the things you can do is bring a knife, and you can anoint the knife in palm oil. You can also use palm wine, which is very dear to Ogun, and of course rum. And anointing, you can pour those objects all over the knife. You offer the knife to Ogun because, again, the spirits recognize the symbols more so than anything. That knife represents a symbol, and you tell Ogun, I'm giving you this knife in order for you to clear the way in front of me, or even to defend me from my enemies. You can tell Ogun to aggressively fight those who try to fight you. Anyone who becomes an adversary of you, you would ask that Ogun that this now be his adversary. Okay, so you're not necessarily sending Ogun on the attack. You're setting up a defensive perimeter with that Ogun energy. You can also offer Ogun yam, rum, again palm oil, palm wine, cola nut, obi. You can offer Ogun many different things. Things that are hot, like chili peppers, jalapenos. Any type of iron can also be an offering to Ogun, as well as Osun or menstrual blood. One thing that you can always do to maintain security in your home is to put an Ogun pot, and you can cover his railroad spikes in menstrual blood. You can also use semen. or you can even use urine. Urine, we know in hoodoo, has been used for a very long time in order to protect the homestead. And urine is a form of blood. So there are many ways to feed this Ogun energy. It doesn't always have to be with blood. It doesn't always have to be through animal sacrifice. But also, always remember that when an animal is sacrificed for the purposes of an offering, that meat is fed to the community. That is a sacrifice. It's not just something that you go and throw into the garbage can now. Though you could do that, but Ogun is an economist, so he would frown upon, killing something, and not totally using every part of it. So for those of us who are ascendants of enslaved Africans, Ogun was one of the spirits and the energies that was called upon heavily once we arrived here, in order to figure out how to live with very little, and to break down things that were given to us that may have not had the greatest intention behind them, and transform them into something powerful that we could use for a greater cause. Okay, this is the Ogun energy. So until next time, continue to employ the power of the Orisha, employ divine guidance, and self-actualize in every empowered moment. Ashe.